Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm kicking off my holiday review themed series called Festive Flicks, where I'll not only, though it's called Flicks, I will not only be taking a look at, theatrically released films, but made for TV movies, Christmas specials, Christmas episodes, short films, etc. You get the picture. Just anything related to the holidays, mostly Christmas. But you know what? Just in an effort for me just to broaden my own mind and explore new things, because that's what this channel, part of the reason why I've even formed this channel, to watch all sorts of different things. I'll also be reviewing stuff related to Thanksgiving. I got your back, Thanksgiving. I haven't forgotten about you. Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, and I got your back, Kwanzaa. I haven't forgotten about you, but you get the picture. Anything related to the holiday season is not off limits here. And we're actually going to be starting this whole holiday theme series off with not a movie, but a television episode from my all-time favorite TV show, The Twilight Zone. More specifically, the Twilight Zone episode from season 2, episode number 11, entitled The Night of the Meek, directed by, let's see here, Jack Smite, written, of course, by Rod Serling, and starring Art Carney, John Fielder, and Robert P. Lieb. So, I definitely had an idea of how things were going to go in my head when I heard that there was even such a thing as a Christmas Twilight Zone episode, or a Twilight Zone Christmas episode. I didn't know that such a thing existed. I was just scrolling on the streaming service today, and I saw like, oh snap! There's a Twilight Zone Christmas episode. What a perfect way to kick off this series! And when it started off, the first thing that you see after the famous intro is a Santa Claus impersonator, a department store Santa, if you will, called Corwin. That's his name, Henry Corwin. Drinking at a bar, talking to a bartender. I was thinking to myself, okay, so we're gonna have another, like Santa Claus story where it's kind of like a dirty Santa, or not bad Santa, like the famous Billy Bob Thornton version, where this guy's a drunken asshole who just happens to work as a department store Santa. And seeing that it's a Twilight Zone episode, he's probably gonna learn the true meaning of Christmas, but not in a very wholesome way. But no, 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 no. In the first, I'd say like 2-3 minute mark, because Twilight Zone episodes, or at least most of them, are only 25 minutes long. Some are actually an hour long, but this one's 25 minutes. But so in the first 3 minutes, my expectations were vastly subverted. And guys, I kid you not, the first few minutes of this episode actually made me tear up, made me cry. Not ugly cry, but actually made me cry. Like, holy shit, I was not expecting this from a Twilight Zone episode. I've seen a lot of episodes of the show. I haven't seen all the episodes. This is, Night of the Meek is one I'm seeing for the first time, but I've never had a Twilight Zone episode make me tear up. Not even one called Walking Distance, which is also, one of the ones that's more like, sad than creepy or anything like that. But this one had me crying in the first few minutes. And I'm not gonna sit here and summarize the whole episode and go shot for shot, even though it is, a 50, no, six, like almost a 60-year-old television episode. I want you to go into this one blind, so I'm not gonna sit here and summarize the whole episode. But let me just say that our lead here, played by Art Carney, Henry Corwin, the mall Santa. He's he's no Billy Bob Thornton, so he's not some drunken douchebag, disillusioning kids and being rude to kids. He's actually somewhat of like this tragic figure, and without saying too much, he's just one of those people that wants the world to be, simply put, just a better place. But his methods of being an alcoholic, he kind of goes about it the wrong way, and he even talks about that in this episode, like, I don't have anything left but drinking. And he's, more specifically, he wants just one Christmas, as he says, just for one single Christmas, not every Christmas, but one Christmas. he would like to, and he kind of paraphrasing the famous Bible verse, he would like to see the meek inherit the earth. And that's pretty much, that pretty much sums up this entire episode. And I'm not going to say what happens, and I'm not going to give away. I wouldn't say this episode really has like a huge twist that subverts expectations, but I'm not going to tell you what happens or how Corwin enters the Twilight Zone. But let me just say, this is easily the most wholesome episode of this show that I've seen thus far. I have heard that and I guess I've seen a couple that aren't, the typical, dystopian, cynical episodes that are, that kind of like go into like, the flaws of human nature and, are not pessimistic as what the, like the iconic episodes of the show are known for. And this is definitely one of the episodes that does the opposite, that explores, the best in people, like that explores the fact that there are people who are simply happy with being able to give to their fellow man instead of take from their fellow man. There are people where that's all they want to do is just be generous, is to just make people happy, and that's what the Night of the Meek deals with. And it's a phenomenal Twilight Zone episode, and it's definitely going on my all-time favorite Twilight Zone episodes list. It's crazy how I went in thinking that this is going to be like, some jerk who's a mall Santa. He's going to get his lesson. He's going to get what he deserves at the end of this, something like that, like maybe he hates Christmas but learns the true meaning. I thought that was how this was going to go. Went into this blind, and it turned out to be like one of the most wholesome Santa Claus Christmas stories I've ever seen. I hope, and I hope that didn't spoil anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I mean, Art Carney, Corin, he wears a Santa Claus suit throughout this entire episode, so I guess I can still call him Santa Claus. All I'm trying to say is this might be one of the best like Santa Claus themed Christmas stories I have ever seen in my entire life, and I'm not exaggerating. In 30 minutes, and just simply 30 minutes, just shy of 30 minutes, this Santa Claus story from the Twilight Zone made me more emotional than a lot of other movies and TV show episodes I've seen with the same character. And usually, Christmas is all about Christmas pop culture films and television shows. It's all about, getting you in the feels, giving you that feel good Yuletide spirit, and, every now and then getting a tear out of you. But I've never to this date seen like something related, specifically focusing on Santa and the idea of Santa, that made me this emotional. Like, again, the first few minutes of this episode had me crying, and there were other points of the episode where I started tearing up again. And so, yeah, wrapping it up, because I want you to, if you haven't seen this episode, I highly recommend that you check it out. And I guess I'm gonna go ahead and rate my first TV review. I'm gonna give Twilight Zone season 2 episode 11, Night of the Meek, a perfect 10 out of 10. This like this is not what I'm used to when watching this show. My all-time favorite show of all time. I thought that it mostly, I'm so used to it focusing on like, just being like a dramatic and sometimes downright scary analysis of human nature, like the monsters are do on Maple Street, just like exploring like the worst in people, exploring like how, if people are given the chance to outdo each other, they will do that and take advantage of each other. They will, because that's what a lot of the iconic episodes of this series are about. But Night of the Meek explores just the opposite, and it executes it in a flawless way. There's even like a comedic element in this particular episode, and it's not overdone. It's just right. Rod Serling, whenever it's a Rod Serling written episode of the Twilight Zone, you're in for some really, really hard hitting dialogue, and he once again delivers here. So 10 out of 10 for the Night of the Meek. Twilight Zone, the Night of the Meek, one of my favorite episodes of this show of all time that I've seen thus far. I still have to, watch all of the episodes of the Twilight Zone to be able to determine which are my top favorite, but this is definitely going on there. This has been Wade Watches, my first festive flicks review for this holiday season, and I will see you all next time with more Yuletide goodness. Peace.